What's up, everybody? Welcome to Goatbroz, your go-to place for nonsensical chatter about
the MCU. I am Chi with Chuck. This is
DJ Chiwa1.
And we thought with Infinity War, with Black Panther, and all these MCU movies that came out and are coming out, I was having a conversation, and my brother here hasn't seen pretty much any of the MCU movies.
I've seen like two.
He's a DC fan, hardcore DC fan. Oh. So he, I don't know, why haven't you seen them?
I think a large part is, I think I started getting into DC Comics when I played the Arkham games in 2000, and I played in 2013. So I played the Arkham games, and I was into Batman, and I don't know, I've never been. Before I played the Arkham games and started getting more into DC, I was never into superheroes in a weird way.
Yeah.
I watched Spider-Man. That was about it. I didn't even watch the Dark Knight trilogy when it came out.
Yeah, you watched it after.
I watched it after, and I loved it after, but I never saw it when it first came out. So I was just a Spider-Man guy. So, and then the revolution of superheroes didn't start until... Yeah. Maybe you could even argue the first Avengers. Like, when you, like, oh, man, this is a big deal. Like, this is for real. And then that's when DC started, like, all right, we need to have our own universe. And by then, I was already a full Batman DC guy.
And, I get you.
It's overwhelming, too. Like, okay, now I need to know about all this world. I just got into the DC world. So I don't, and, it's like...
It kind of mirrors
MCU kind of has that feel to, okay, it's popular, but, I don't play Call of Duty games.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they're bad or
anything. Are you a hipster? Are you a dirty hipster?
I just I don't play Call of Duty.
MCU's too mainstream for me.
It is too mainstream in the sense that it's too mainstream that it turned me off. I'm like, okay, well, that's always going to be there.
Yeah.
I like...
But now you got to watch 40 hours worth of movies.
Well, that's good. If they're all good, then it's a good deal.
So what we're going to do is, I haven't seen the original movies in a while either. I won't say I'm a hardcore MCU guy, but I love superheroes, period. I love that whole genre. I mean, I love Batman. Mm-hmm. I'm as disappointed as everybody about the DCU as, because I wanted it to be good, I want these characters to be so good. I love what the MCU is doing. So what we're going to do is we're going to rewatch all these movies. He's going to see it from a virgin perspective, never seeing him and what he thinks about him. And me, I'm rewatching them. Just kind of touch base on it and see where we are now and where we started. They're not going to be necessarily in chronological order as far as when they came out. For example, the first one we're going to review today is Captain America, the First Avenger. We all know that wasn't the first movie, but in the time, in the story arc, it's the first one.
The MCU timeline.
The MCU timeline, right. So that's what we're going to go first. So you saw the movie, right?
Yeah.
I saw it last night. Mm-hmm. So it'd be fresh in my mind, Keys. Because again, there's a lot of things that I was watching again. I'm like, man, that's I forget about that. But from you, what did you think as a movie, not as a comic book movie, but just as a movie?
I think as a movie, it plays it safe, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. The movie making process feels. I've seen this movie, not this movie, but I've seen this type of movie before.
Yeah, it's movie by the colors.
It has a very it follows all the tropes of movie making, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Like, there's a scene where, what's this guy's name? Smith?
Smith, yeah.
He's the Red Skull at the end, where he's gonna steal the artifacts.
Yeah.
And then he pulls up in his car, and it does you gotta get the shot of the brand, and then his foot pumps out, boom, like, yeah. You see that, yeah. and it does all that. Dialogue, too, was also very safe. It's conventional. It's by the book. It's by the numbers. It's not bad, but it's like, all right, this dialogue, all right, fits. Like, it's not bad, but it's not like a. And I understand it's not gonna be like a Tarantino movie where it's oh my god, this is shot so great, but it's
you're not gonna have weird stuff.
Right. It follows that kind of comfortable way to feel.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I've seen this movie. I could predict certain things. There's the love interest of Captain America is like, okay, of course he's gonna have to Peggy Carter. Of course she has to see him kiss another girl, which movies always do this. They stay kissing for like longer than it should be, And it's like, oh, I didn't mean to kiss her. I just wanted to enjoy that for 30
That was
seconds.
really like 5-minute kiss.
And like she gets mad and then walks off. Certain things like that where I've noticed I'm okay. This, cinematography wise, the DCEU does it better for this movie. I've only seen one movie. That's why I like. That's the one thing that people like about Zack Snyder is just how he shoots it. It's like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
This goes by the book, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I just noticed that when I'm watching it, I'm like, okay, this is very. And then I think it keeps that same trope. At the end, when he's trying to stop Red Skull on his plane from like the weapons of mass destruction or whatever the offensive he was taking, it's like, where is he? Where is he? And I'm like, he's gonna be right behind you.
Yeah.
And he pops out. It's right behind him. And then I'm not those people that are like, oh my god, it's the same shit. I was just like, okay, because I enjoyed the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, man, is this gonna be like Man of Steel, where it's like it's in my opinion above average, but it's like a chore in some places to watch? I'm like, no, it was enjoyable. It was conventional, but it was enjoyable watching it. I didn't go like,
because
I didn't do that.
It's almost kind of like it goes to the point,
right? And it's an origin movie, so it's
like the check.
It's an origin movie, so it kind of, to me, it gets a pass for being an origin movie.
Right, and that's I think that's the thing. There's certain things you have to hit because, like I said, it's an origin movie. There is some dialogue where I'll be sitting there. I was actually watching it with my wife, and I would say the line before they said, like, "Babe, you've watched this too many times." I'm like, "No, I haven't. It's predictable." Like
that's what I wrote down on my notes. I wrote that it's a predictable.
It's a predictable movie, but again, it has to hit certain points. And then you also got to realize something of who it is. It's Captain America. Right. There's nothing, in this version of him, in the MCU version, he's the clean-cut, uplifting person.
He's the Superman.
Right. He's the Superman.
Where you're you're not going to get the he's not the comic relief. He's not the Iron Man /Batman guy.
And again, they introduced it, because this is what this is. It's the introduction of a character. Mm-hmm. The movie is, like I said, painting by the colors. It's, hit one, hit two, hit, like you're hitting check marks. His grittier, darker side doesn't come up until later on in the MCU timeline. Right. But this is the introduction. It's a very good introduction, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then we'll go on to now, as a comic book fan, and again, comic book doesn't necessarily just mean DC, Image. It just comic books are comic books. Mm-hmm. They might be different characters and different stories, but essentially they all follow the same thing. As a comic book fan, what do you think of the movie?
As a comic book fan, I really enjoy. I think I enjoy more as a comic book adaptation than a film. Mm-hmm. And I think those two things are distinct. You could distinguish them. Like, okay, I think DC has a problem with that. Where I'm like, this comic book fan, how do you not love this? Movie going fan, the fucking editing, the pacing is like, whoa, it's everywhere, right?
Yeah.
And not to say that this is a bad movie. I actually wrote down pacing is actually a positive for an origin movie, which you have to get through like a lot of fat.
Yeah.
I thought the pacing was like, well, you know what? I was interested the whole way, and I don't know how much is that I didn't know who Captain America was.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I felt like I'm interested the whole way, even it being predictable. But as a comic book, I loved it. I loved him in the suit. I loved the feel of the, I guess sort of the reference, how to reference this movie would be Wonder Woman, like that World War II era. I feel like it does a really good job of keeping that, and it has a charm. It's funny because I think of it has its tropes in movie making, and it's also pretty corny.
Yeah.
But I'm like, this feels like a 50, 60 comic book.
It does, right? Okay, even I think
like when he's selling the bonds and he's dancing, I'm like, this feels like a comic book.
Yeah.
And like even if it's not in the style of how we know them.
Did you notice that in the lighting? Because the lighting plays a big part in the tone of the movie. Mm-hmm. The lighting changes. Like when he's with Peggy, Carter, Agent Carter. There's a lot of like browns and a lot of wherever he's in the military, and then when he's in society, when he's doing the bonds, very bright, colorful surroundings. When he goes to the front and you see it's dingier, it's darker. I think those things, to me, I notice it, and I normally pay attention to these things, but it just stands out so much that it sets tones based on the lighting and things like that.
And there's consistency. Consistency in its tone. It's something that DC, with the Justice League movie, in my opinion, didn't do. The tones were all over the place. Not just in the line, but in the feel of the movie. I feel like this movie does a great job of it feeling like this World War II comic book movie.
It does. It's a great introduction. One thing that to keep in mind when you're and this is just something I know now, being part of watching the MCU for so long, is that when you watch MCU movies, if you're going in there, wanting a Oscar nominated movie like The Dark Knight was just part of the trilogy at some point. That's not what this is.
No, it's not.
I don't go watch The Expendables because I'm looking for great acting. You know what I mean? Like, that's just how it is. And I think that's where the clash between the two universes comes. Is like, well, it's this, it's that. It's like, well, they're two different things.
As they should be.
Right, and that's kind of what I wanted. So with Captain America, I think it sets the tone for what the MCU is for the most part. Mm-hmm. Is there are darker movies, lighter movies, things like that. But essentially, there's a very set line, like they don't steer too far from it. I mean, you saw how many deaths there were in that movie.
That's one thing I wanted to point out. I'm like, this is surprisingly dark. Like, outside looking into the Marvel universe, it's like, well, those, fucking colorful. This is the growth.
It's like Mickey in a superhero.
This is like to quote WCW. This is where the big boys play in DC. You know how that turned out. No, but I'm like, yeah, they're the cartoonish era, and I'm like, I don't think the DC, maybe they have. So I'm just going off my head. Like, there's a scene where Captain America's fighting off, goons or whatever, the Hell Hydra, people. And he throws one guy off, and the guy goes through the propeller or whatever. Yeah. And he gets cut, and I'm like, damn.
I know, right?
And I like.
And then there's a blood trail as he leaves.
Yeah. Like, oh yeah. That image, I'm like, yeah, this movie is not light.
The thing, what it is they're not. They're deaths with a purpose.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's not. We're not gonna go out and kill 20 dudes.
Yeah, it's not a slaughter fest.
No, but it's like there's a purpose for it.
It's economic.
Yeah. And I think that's why they get away with it, because they don't just go around killing all these people. Like all the dudes that he threw off the plane, we all know what happened to them. Oh yeah. You know what I mean? Clearly they're dead, but it's not something that you're visibly looking. That one was. When I first saw it originally, I'm like, wow, it's pretty dark for a Captain America, not even a Marvel, because we didn't know what Marvel was at the time. Right. But just like, I'm like, wow, like for the tone of the movie.
And maybe for you, because the movies I've seen is Ant-Man, Spider-Man, they're on the lighter side.
Oh yeah.
So those are the two sample sizes I have of the MCU. So I'm like, well, this is the whole freaking thing right here, and it's gonna be tiresome. I thought, because I'm like, well, Ant-Man's okay. I really enjoyed Spider-Man, but I'm like, if it's like this the whole way, like, how do you do that? I'm like, nope.
I think
this first movie of the timeline, it's gritty enough, and it doesn't go too far. It doesn't go Tarantino way, which I'm not criticizing. I like, it's fine. And it doesn't go into like
Can you imagine the Avengers, the Tarantino movie?
Fuck, you said Captain America. Oh shit.
Like, whoa.
Tony, relax.
Why are you all wearing black suits?
Howard Stark is Tony Stark's dad, grandpa.
Yeah, his dad.
That's cool. I like the tie-in.
And that's the thing, is that you're starting the timeline, you're starting the movie, and there's so many things that you're gonna see this now. The next movie we're gonna look at is Iron Man. Mm-hmm. You'll see the tie-ins, and you'll be like, oh shit.
Yeah, I like that. I like the nod. I think that's the only one I noticed. I've only seen yet.
So far, again, you'll get 4 or 5 movies deep. Wait till you get to the middle of it, and you'll start seeing the stuff.
I'll say one more thing before we go into our wrap up here. Movie deaths in they have to mean something.
Yes.
I don't feel like, and I don't know what happened. Bucky fell down.
Yeah.
I don't know if he, I don't want to spoil it. I'm pretty sure he's not dead. Obviously he's not dead. I've seen trailers. Yeah. Right. But I'm like, in the scope of the movie, he's dead.
Yeah. As of right now, he's dead.
They comic movies need to do a better job with this. Because I'm like, I didn't feel nothing, really. I feel like and everybody had strong performances. Captain America, when he was small, little, Captain America, I'm like, oh, he's going to be big. And his character's going to change because he got big. Yeah. Nope. Stayed consistent. And then the performances were strong. Tommy Lee Jones.
Oh, yeah.
Chris Evans.
They did what they were supposed to.
The villain was
the roles were, but the roles weren't exactly like they didn't demand too much of each person.
No,
like but
it was
they hit it.
Yeah,
they hit it.
I thought the villain was a little. I'm like, I'm gonna forget this guy once I move on in the MCU. He looks cool, but I don't know, the Red Skull. Not the. He's gonna be a forgettable villain. I could already tell. I feel like he was just a placeholder. Like, all right, we're gonna introduce Captain America. We need somebody. You want to do it, Red Skull? All right, let's go. That's how I felt about it. But going back to the death of Bucky, I didn't feel the emotional weight behind that, and that's not like I felt the same way when, spoilers, Superman dies in Batman v Superman.
Yeah,
I actually felt more emotional weight when in Wonder Woman when Steve Trevor dies.
Yeah, but he had a whole movie to develop that.
Right, and that's what I'm kind of getting at, and I understand that
like here is more of it's his best friend. It's his best friend.
Right.
And I think partially more the understanding. It's not necessarily for you, but like you said, I understand. Like it affects Captain America.
No, I get that part.
So remember that thought when you see the second Captain America. Sure. Remember the fact that you're like, it affected him at the time that he just saw his friend die. I mean, it's even brought up when they're.
And maybe it wasn't even supposed to be a tearjerker.
No, it's more of a. It's like a note, like, hey, place marker.
That's a good point, because in Batman v Superman, like the last 20 minutes was like just Superman dying and the fallout from that, which I understand it's a big deal, but in terms of the relationship and emotional weight, you're right. I think this movie probably was like, all right, and this is not supposed to make you cry.
No,
this is supposed to show you how it affects Captain America.
You're right, and here's the thing: you also remember at the time, as far as you knew. At the end of the First Avenger, Bucky was dead. Because at the time we didn't have Avengers 2, we didn't have Infinity War, we didn't have The Winter Soldier, we didn't have any of those movies. So the movie ended, Bucky's dead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and you go like, oh shit, Bucky's dead.
Yeah.
And there's no reason for you to think he's gonna come back.
A throwaway video game character.
Yeah, right? Like, there's no reason for you to think, oh, he's gonna come back at some point. Because what would you? He's just some random, like, he's
his best friend. Like, okay, this is just motivating.
But I mean, Batman's parents haven't come back. You know what I mean? Like,
not they will.
That's my point.
We saw them get shot every fucking time.
So that's the thing is, at the end, because I think of now that I'm watching these movies again, knowing everything that's happened, I go back and think about what was going on at that time. Well, at the end of that movie, we just knew that Bucky was dead, and that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think if you watch the movies with that mentality of, okay, what was happening? Okay, at the end of this, as it sits right now, well, however movies are in, like, this is what's happened. We don't know anything that's happened up to this point.
Right.
I mean, as of right now, we know what Bucky is.
Right, so.
But at the end of that movie, he was dead.
Right. And it came out of nowhere, too. I was like, what? I didn't know he was going to die. Didn't he just get rescued?
Yeah. Let's talk about the ending. Like, I'm a Dodgers fan. So it was
yep.
I was like, yes, right. He's rounding third. We're gonna do this. But that was a nice tie-in. Like the fact that I remembered he was at that game.
That was cool.
And he just caught it, and I mean that was a cool.
Now, what's the implication? Is the implication that he could survive? The explosions didn't go off, did they?
No, because if you look at the ship,
so
the ship is fully.
So he survived
the crash. And
it's not like he died and then like, let's get him back.
No, it's the implication is that he froze alive and they just thawed him out.
Okay.
That's because of the serum.
It's a comic book kind of thing, right?
I mean, just how they release him too, like you said, they just wipe it off and you see the shield and you're like, that's cool. Yeah. I like the little comment that the guy says, it's like, hey, I don't care what time it is, this guy's waited long enough. It's like, but that was a cool ending. After that, you get the after credit scene, which the MCU movies are known for. Mm-hmm. What was the end credit scene for this one?
The end credit scene?
When he's doing the punching bag.
Right? Yeah.
He's doing the punching bag.
And then they have a secret mission. Or yep. I don't know. I was like, all right, that's cool, but I still was like,
Yeah, the point of the end credit scene to me, when I see them, is it's to leave you wonder.
Right, but like, anybody who's like a Marvel fan will be like, oh my god, they're hinting to more. I was already like, oh, okay, I'm guessing the Avenger movie is gonna come out. Because the spark already left. I had to be in that theater, 10 years
when
ago
it happened,
or 7 years ago when it happened to feel that.
Right.
Now it's like, well, they're gonna do their third Avengers movie, or it's already out.
Yeah.
So it kind of loses it, but I did in like the.
Right.
Like,
and that's the spark that I want you to have when you go see Infinity War.
Mm-hmm.
After we watch all these movies, you're like, fuck yeah, that's awesome. Because the other thing too is that a lot of us that are in the follow the MCU because we like movies and superhero movies, we know what movies are coming up and why the things that happen in the movies have that little extra meaning.
Right.
Where like I was watching a YouTube video of reactions of people, and I watched the reactions of every movie, right? Reactions from every movie in the MCU.
Right.
And Adam Warlock is one of the guys from Guardians of the Galaxy. He's a bad guy, and they hint him at the end of one of the movie Guardians of the Galaxy. They hint that he's gonna come out, right? And there's a dude that loses his mind. He's like you're listening. He's like, yeah, fuck yeah, oh my god. He's losing his shit, and everybody else is like, who the fuck is that guy? Like nobody knows who he is. And it's like, all right, that's cool. And then I feel bad for that guy. I'm sorry, sir, but the MCU, they always said like, no, we're not gonna develop that character. So that guy's gonna start crying if he reacts that way about these things. But that's the point. Is like it's supposed to show you what could be in the future.
Right. Yeah.
So it'll be fun,
Absolutely, I can't wait. It brought excitement. I'm like, all right, I'm kind of liking this build.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a good place to start, for sure.
Cool.
But overall, I thought it was a good movie. It didn't. It's maybe in the same vein. I'll put it a notch below Batman Begins, and that one you gotta give credit to because I was like coming back from Batman and Robin and that Schumacher disaster, and it was coming back from that in Batman Begins. So I feel like it's a notch below that. But it's still really good. It's a very solid start. Like I'm interested now.
It's a good start It's a good start for a person who hasn't seen the MCU because you'll see some of these, looking forward. You'll see some of these origin stories, and like you said, some of them drag. Some of them are like, oh man, like we get it. Let's just go to the next thing. But it's like, those points have to be made now for the foundation later on. So there you go. He's optimistic of the next one. So we'll be checking out Iron Man, and we will see how that goes. So remember, if you guys have any questions, any comments, you don't agree with our assessment, or you want something for him to look at when he's looking at the rest of the movies, put them in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Thank you.